What happens to the truck driver that worked for 40 years? He's 60 years old and he makes an average salary of 55,000. Well, actually, the average salary on the right there is what he does in the future. He's on intelligent transportation. He does the logistics. He's the fleet commander, remote controls call center. So if he needs to take over a truck driving through a mud puddle or a flood happening, he knows that territory and he remotely controls that vehicle and gets it through the problematic area when the AI failed to operate correctly. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that this is legend. And I look at it this way. There's three groups of people. Community colleges across the United States, the Chamber of Commerce in every single city. So community college professors handpicked to go into the Chamber of Commerce and at City Hall do what I did. That was at Coral Springs and Coconut Creek were the two city halls. That one episode you saw was four people from Broward College, Department of Nursing, Supply Chain, Logistics. Each of them were speaking about the future of AI and preparedness for it. Unfortunately, Broward College hasn't pushed as far as Miami-Dade College has, so I'll probably be leaving there to go to a national post to actually run this thing. So then we upskill everybody. 70% of all of us need to have what you and I are doing right now, right? You're talking to me and I'm showing you how to use these agents, and we've just crossed the threshold. And that threshold is it can do anything you can do with a mouse, period, and full stop, and more because it can take out the noise out of that video. It can analyze the nuance of what it feels like to be at this point. And then AI agents are people who go back to colleges that lost their job, and then they go into businesses across the planet and they teach people how to implementation. They create strategies for the business as a whole, and then they go into each and every department. They make sure that people that used to be secretaries are not orchestrators of information transference. I mean, that's what happens to America. So I call it AI for G, uh, uh, the GI Bill for the AI age is my tagline, and it helped me come up with even that idea. So if as a thought partner, so 2 years ago, I did this with all of my educators. I had 300 educators at Broward College, and I had to tell them what's AI done for us already. The Moderna vaccine would not exist. We would still be in COVID 7 years later. That's how long it would have taken for humans alone to have come up with this vaccine. 6 weeks is what it took the AI. So you want to cure all maladies? It's 3D printed a heart made from your own personal stem cells so you can just swap out organs when yours fail. I mean, that's where we freaking are right now. And I'm not even joking. Type 1, type 2 diabetes, done, over with. Alzheimer's, there's a drug in trials on animals right now that's going into human people. I will never suffer the indignities of 7 years of not knowing who my kids are. That I had to. Sorry. With my mom. Chatbots, and yeah, there's stuff to worry about. Yeah, we got to be scared. But you can be teaching at Broward College how to install a chatbot that's a real live person and then have it change it into Spanish because the person just started speaking Spanish. Do you know what call centers are like now? You've been on hold with real people. You've been on hold with even really badly designed ones. You literally, and I have done this, created a chatbot that walks and talks like a human being, like you're seeing right here, the AI pizza chatbot. His t-shirt could change into Swahili if you started speaking Swahili. And his voice could take on the intonation. Oh, I'm so sorry you didn't get the right pizza. We'll send a new one out to you right away. Sorry for that. Let's give you a free pizza next time you ask. Right? There you go. uh, so that's just kind of what I can do. What can you do with AI? Hello USA. This is the app we vibe coded together. And this is a real app too that gets people into citizenship. It's a pathway to citizenship that makes citizenship acquisition for any able-bodied and positive to the American economy person who wants to get here to have a tutor, AI tutor 24/7. So it's as easy as ordering a pizza, and you can follow transparently where you are in the supply chain from getting your legal rights to getting your paperwork to learning your civics lessons, to learning English, securing a job, a sponsor match, and required documentation. This is your pathway to citizenship. Doesn't that look as easy as a pizza? Yes. And then prepare for your oath of ceremony because it trains you on English until you get to proficiency you need to do. Here's your progress bar. So, If I could do that with a couple of my friends, and I'm going to show you the friends because this is the journey right here. This is what we did. We vibe coded this. This is all Nana Banana making the. This is 6 months ago when I did this. Okay, so there's the app and what it looks like. And guess what the large language model inside of this app is, or small language model? Liberty, because that's who you should talk to if you want to get in the country. And then, here's a community of people going back and forth. And then here's your biometrics to citizenship. And if you have your paperwork on you, ICE can't stop you because you unlock it with your Face ID and say, hey, look here. Or it actually warns ICE agent, don't approach this person. They are legal people on their way to citizenship. They're good people doing good stuff. Get off. Calls a lawsuit. So we created it. Rescue Connect. This is for all kinds of situations, before, during, and after. Anyway, I'm not going to go on with all my projects, but so just.
Hola, soy Rescate Randy. Ya contacté a Allstate. Tu reclamo está en proceso. Un Uber con espacio para tu perro, en un transportador, llegará en 20 minutos. Tu casa estará completamente restaurada en un mes, y ya se organizó un lugar donde vivir. Allstate te informará cada paso. Estás seguro, apoyado y en camino a la recuperación.
That was done with ChatGPT last August. No, last May. Last May. Yeah, I did that with Hedra, and we just created this little animal here, this character, this blue face. So it's not ethnicity bound. And it's just got a Red Cross hat on board, and we're going to make the little red thing. And all the stuff is natural. So this can be hooked up, and that's what a chatbot looks like. Liberty's going to look like that, and so are the other ones. Of course, probably a little bit smaller unless you want to talk to a face, because that's more engaging,
Hey, it's Rescue Randy. You've done great so far. Just a few final steps. Upload your important documents to the cloud. Pack for your pet with papers and medications. Prepare your go bag and plan for shelter. Hurricane Andy is 2 days away. Category 4, possibly 5. Coral Gables High is your shelter. I'll share the link. Evacuate by Monday, 8 a.m.
Holy cow. I mean, that's it, right? So this is the story of Sarah, who I photographed her home. She passed away because the shelter refused her because she had a cat. She went home and died. I don't want that to happen to any human being ever again. But Rescue Randy has already taken her on a virtual tour of the place. She already knows who the nurse is going to be. She knows that if she brings her paperwork, which she's already put in the cloud, that they already know, and they're going to be greeting her. She's going to be picked up. She's going to know who she's picking her up. Her son could be in Boston and then be on the phone with her as Rescue Randy walks her through the steps. This is Jose and Andre, and they're coming to pick you up in a van that's equipped for your wheelchair, and they have your medication in hand. They know about your cat. Here it is. Here's your carrier for it. Get ready, Mom. They'll be there in a minute. Sure enough, like ordering a pizza. That's what it ought to be. Here's all the disaster supplies you need. Here's the family members during that you can satellite connect with a solar paneled phone. That's all you need. So this little bag here is all you need to go bad that you start with, and beforehand, your car gets filled up with gasoline. Holy crap. You don't have to go stand in line and then run out of gas while you're in a 300 car line and they run out of gas. No, every single truck filled with gasoline just goes around. You pay for it here, and then supply chains manages to put it all in your pocket. And then we can get the FEMA takes over the week before. Home Depot doesn't have a generator. It goes to Lowe's. Then it gets picked up by everybody, right? So Angie's List gets volunteers. Habitat for Humanity gets volunteers. Red Cross, FEMA, before, during, and after any kind of emergency, whether it's a fire in California, a hurricane in the East Coast, or it's even floods in the Midwest. All of these things, everything, including your documentation, your IDs, all of your documentation you're going to need before, during, and after is up in the cloud, secure and safe for you. This is everybody's app in America. And then you've got a walkie-talkie that works off a satellite. If you've got emergency problems, it's an automatic, can I help you? And you can see Rescue Randy. This is the old version that we started with. I basically handed that little icon right there, make it 3D, make it blue face, and put a yellow hat on with a red cross symbol and a light on top. And that's what you saw just a minute ago, speaking Spanish to you. The language is 127 languages that will sound exactly like Rescue Randy's intonation, because that's what's possible. And then you aggregate your news instead of having to change channel and watch commercials. What the hell? During a hurricane, we want to know what's hitting us right now. We need to know. Nextdoor app has said somebody said that there's a tornado headed your way. You know about it before it gets there, and the Weather Service does too. So use AI to navigate and do everything, and afterwards Allstate already knows that your house burned down to the ground. They've already got a hotel reserved for you because they've supply chain managed the hell out of this beforehand. So they put 6 months long, and then they've got the crews ready. So you're literally watching your house be rebuilt in real time as you're enjoying a hotel, all paid for by Allstate because you bought the insurance and you got what you paid for. That privileges every human being. Life force. I'm not getting you started on this, but this is an aggregation of all your data in one device on your home. It's a sublayer of basically Google Home. But all of your documentation, everything that goes into you, so you've got all this chaos and fragmentation, all these apps and that are disconnected from everything, all these devices. And so we made a device for you that sits on your home called LifeForce that plans your meals and then thinks about how to worry about all the things. So your medical records come in, your ancestral DNA history comes in, then all your apps come in, and then you scan your food and everything in one app, and then you schedule your food down to the recipes list. You have a weekly planner for how you're going to work out, what you're going to eat. It basically takes everything. So here is obesity. So I want to deal with that, right? So this is what I'm able to do with just, and here's a device that just came out that literally is measuring your longevity score. So using this app, we get to live longer, and it actually tracks that. That's part of it. So here's a device I just bought. This is a scale. You hold on to it. This is what it gave me. This is real information off of my situation. Left and right, it uses electricity going through your nervous system through to a handheld thing, and it measures left and right resistance based on all of these different things. This is a real deal. This is a real application. And then here is your planning for all your meals, doctor's visits. Here's your weekly plan out for workout and for, so it's health, nutrition, exercise, and mental mind. So it even helps you listen to things. Here's what you're going to be eating, day 5, day 6. Here's what happens when you get sick. Here's what to do to hydrate before an event. Then all your devices, including your patch, which checks your fitness, your sugar levels, your Peloton, your Apple Health, your MyFitnessPal, Function Health, all these integrate together and they privilege you at the center of your hub. It's a private large language model built on device, so it never leaves you until you're in a car crash. Your child is unconscious and they have to do something as quickly as they can. So they have access to all your information. So they know to heads up, hey, your son was in a car accident. He's okay. Here's his vitals. You can watch it real. And then you should go to the hospital. Meet us there in 20 minutes. We'll be there. He'll be just fine. Prognosis is great. We'll keep you updated on anything. We're aware of his type 2 diabetes. We're aware of his autism, blah, blah, blah. Yep, that's it. So if that's what I can do, imagine what you could do. And this is the whole device anchor thing. This is planning meals. And this is an advertising thing. So I've been working with the branding team at Broward College in my class called Branding, UX UI. So we're building an app to do all this. We're integrating hardware, actually making hardware 3D printed. That'll be the best of class in each one of these types of devices for inputting information about your health. So this is our ecosystem we're starting to create. So anyway, this is my real stuff. This is what I gave to my doctor. I photographed all my medication in a photograph. This is what it did. Prescriptions and over-the-counter supplements, my patient questions that I have, and then private health analysis, what I'm worried about. Here's what I had: emergency room trip. This is my conversation with ChatGPT. This then I took these 2 pages to my doctor, and then the doctor was able to do things. Now I'm going to blow your mind again because this is my project. This is the last thing that Manus did. Manus is just like Perplexity. This is a movie. It's a TV series. It's everything. Here we go. So what you're watching are images created in Nana Banana by Manus. It's a video created by Manus. It's a voice completely constructed by Manus. And then in 1 hour, it made this.
In a world where the future feels uncertain and the challenges seem insurmountable, a generation of children is waiting for a hero who looks like them. But they won't just find a hero. They will become the heroes. Abracadabra does not mean magic. In ancient Aramaic, it means, I create as I speak. Words do not describe reality, they create it. Meet Kavi Vak, the spoken poet, a boy from Varanasi, India, who discovers the compendium of unfinished beings, a book of creatures waiting to be spoken into existence. When Kavi speaks the ancient words, the Ganges responds. The Plastifiga rises, a magnificent creature that heals the water, the first conjuring. He is not alone. This is the Abracadabra Brigade, 6 children from 6 ancient traditions across the global south and beyond. Amara, the wire weaver from Ghana, Tomoko from Japan, Samuel from Nigeria, Lucia from Colombia, Dakota from the Haudenosaunee, children who wish for a better world and are given the agency to speak it into existence. Guided by the Parliament of Elders, they must stand against Victor Hagen, a man who believes only in extraction and control. This is more than a story. It is a movement, a franchise full of heart, soul, and power. Books, films, augmented reality, and a theme park experience where the magic is real. For the millions of underrepresented fans around the world who have never seen themselves at the center of the hero's journey, their time has come. The mythology the 21st century has been waiting for. The story has already begun.
That's me. I have a better version of this image I'm going to put in there. Look at this thing. The music, everything. That voice never existed. After, at 11 o'clock last night, I said, go. 20 minutes later, this appeared. If this isn't freaking abracadabra, I do not know what this is. And that's only the part of it. So right here, I'm going to make this full screen. This is the storyboard of each and every part of this story and the mythology that you just saw. So let me just go in here really close. And you can see these are the scenes that it created for me. Here is them practicing this. So this is when they got under attack by Hagen's group, when they find out. So this is the 15-chapter long book. This is book 1 that I wrote with Claude because it's amazing. And it generated these images as a storyboard. Then they get Victor Hagen. I don't want to give this too much away, but they send an AI after them, basically. So they basically speak these things into existence. And so this is the storyboard of the entire story. This is the Wayback Machine. You weren't the AI Salon. There was a guy talking about a radio, a physical device created in Japan that basically is used in Alzheimer's treatment centers. And I'm not making this up, just to give you an idea of how beautiful this whole concept is. And every one of the grandchildren, these are the grandparents, all of them are suffering some form of dementia. And this device, which is real, made by an AI company, you can go look it up, is physically being made. So what it does is you tune in, not to a radio station, to a recording database that's on the internet of all the music from the time period of which you were young and you remember. So my mother remembered the 1950s and 40s. She remembered when my parents got married, 1940s. And it would tune in the recordings, the music, the news of the day, and you're listening to old-timey radio. It looked like an old-timey radio. And you dial it in and it would just play for you. And you'd listen to, as she did, Nat King Cole over and over again. I forget which gospel group. There were 3 gospel groups she listened to. Every morning she'd wake up in the morning, and by sundown, of course, she would forget them. But this is a Wayback Machine. So they start with trying to, as they mistakenly do. So each one of these kids are from a different country, and this is the storyboard. So he creates an animal. He manifests from Sanskrit, which is the original idea from India and from Sanskrit, was that a goddess spoke words and imagined the world into existence. That's the word abracadabra. That's what the whole thesis of this is. So his grandfather was a scholar of Sanskrit. So he's able to cure his Alzheimer's and realizes he hands him this book. So there's where he lives. That's the Ganges River. There's the evil person. So these are the character profiles. The head of each one of the 5 clans from around the world. This is the chief of the Haudenosaunee tribe, which is who invented the idea of thinking 7 generations in the future before you make any decisions. You're born of responsibility. This is one of the major tenets that ancient civilizations got right that we have been getting wrong again and again. And then here's the man from Japan, Kamadodo, is their religion. Ikigai and Kintsugi are part of their philosophies. This is the Ubuntu from the Congo area. The Ubuntu, I because of we. All of these philosophies are philosophies that are core, and from the 5 corners of the earth, they come together. And they come up, and this is his grandfather, who has these yellow eyes that are magical. And then this is his sister, who he reads the book at the beginning. I think I can, I think I can. From a rescued copy from a trash dump, from the imperialization of British peoples into India to bring their English language to empower them to become the next superpower of the world. That's another whole story. So all of this comes from, this is Dakota, the grandson of that Haudenosaunee, 7 generations thinking, etc. And so each corner of the world has something that they have to give to the world. And these children are the ones that need to teach us how to manifest and imagine a world. And then this is the beautiful soul, Kavevaka, which means what? It means speaking poet. So he is the vibe coder that took his broken phone and this book and manifested these creatures. And that's where the story begins. So he points at it and realizes that the language, which 1968, a NASA scientist started studying large language models and said, there's a disconnect. If you try to speak English to it, there's a translation where, as you know from English language, if anybody's ever tried to learn it, it's extremely difficult to learn. Why is it difficult to learn? Because it doesn't match and it has so many rules that are broken. They're that, all those words that just have so many different meanings. Sanskrit was written with 3,078 different succinct definitions of words. So there is no misinterpretation. Even words for satire and for comedy, things like that, that in a text emoji don't come across. So it is the language that was written long ago that is what large language models speak today. We just haven't learned how to speak it. So we had to build an interpreter, like we were building an interpreter for the animals. And so when he points his phone at it and he manifests it, it turns into code. He created a large language model called Cadabra, which takes and manifests and transmutes the written page into an actual animal, eats all the plastic and the garbage that's in the ocean. So this is the core of the book. So there he gets it, he opens the book, and he teaches them, as they each have a copy of this book, their grandfathers give to them as they're about to pass from this earth. And then these animals are transformed biologically to do certain things. She is the expert on creating information bots, social media controlling viruses, basically, that manifest themselves as sort of lions in disconnecting people who are trying to take from the economy and giving it spirit. In Japan, she's trying to solve the Fukushima disaster. So she creates an organism that will go and detect the radiation in the soil that the government lied about and then make a bot to go in there and fix it. So there's 4 different kinds of bots that are either electronic, social, or physical, or biological. And those are the things. So Colombia is full of poisoned earth. So she cures the earth and takes the cocaine poison, the other things that have poisoned the earth, and the things that were slashed and burned, and reinvests and creates a more healthy environment that takes care of itself, etc. And then when they all get cured of Alzheimer's by their grandchildren, they realize that they had gathered together in 1968. They are the council that the United Nations brought together of all the ancient belief systems to come together and to create an Esperanto of how to navigate the world going future. They met and throughout the centuries, since the beginning of time, Every 7 generations, they meet and come to a council. So these children are the ancestors of 100,000-year tradition since the beginning of language that's been handed down. The magical powers of Sanskrit and all the other languages um, brought together in council to come up with one language to rule them all. And this is the year. And the reason why every 7 generations is because every 10 generations, empires fall. If you look at the Roman, 250 years. Look at the British, 250 years. Look at America, 250 years this July 4th. It's time for the council to have gathered, and they have. And that council is we, you and I, making a difference by counting the number of fish there are and finding out how do we change our behaviors to accommodate the fish that are trying to go through a dock system that someone already has brought into being. Imagine a world, and that is the name of my company, Imaginable World Productions LLC, and is also the name of my foundation that will I leave all my money to so that I can help land the planes by just inspiring generations of children to think that they can't, to know that they can change the world by speaking it into existence. So Abracadabra is not just me. It is a world of people that imagine that by reading and by thinking and by doing and by finding a way that you could speak into existence through the ancients' knowledge of what they always knew, is that we have to have continuity. We have to be more human. We have to get back to, and what was he doing? He was solving the problem of his backyard that he didn't have drinking water. And you know what this animal does? This amazing phasmagoria is it eats plastic and it poops out protein and food fish. So now the entire Ganges River, and so I won't tell you too much because there's a lot more to this than that. All of this wisdom comes together and then it's manifested through these children who then go out and cause actions until we get Victor, petrochemical guy, war machine monger. He is the evil of all human beings, the extraction economy personified. And there he is. So now we know what he looks like. And this is what he's been doing bad for things. And what are they doing? Fixing it. And what are they doing? Giving away as a gift to the planet. So these are still framed for what will be a movie. And I will be making that movie and rendering the videos right here, the same way you saw. So everybody pulls off the shelf this book. And then look what happens. In Fukushima, Medellin, Lagos, Varanasi, Accra, and Akwesasne. All of those locations are where these children come from. This is our future. This is the Abracadabra Brigade. And this is what I've made in just a few moments of my time. As short as it is, there's only one thing in the world that absolutely has always existed: love, unconditionally given, born of responsibility to cure and to help other people make beautiful lives for themselves. Being responsible for being a better version of yourself every day. When you wrong someone, your job is to make it better. Put back the gold in your kintsugi cup that you damaged. You broke their cup that holds their still water, that holds their life force, that holds their star dust turning into starlight. When you fix it, their light burns. When you break it, you leak it out and you cannot drink. Humans cannot survive on an extractive economy. We figured out a way to weaponize against people. Now it's weaponized as a force for good and do some good in the world. So that's the promise, is that we start with the 5, and then they appear before the United Nations, and they offer this as a gift to all people. And that dream of making into reality the solutions for all the problems in the world becomes a reality. It becomes a TV show. And I can imagine what that looks like as a TV show. And I can actually make it a TV show, episodic in nature, and a comic book told in this way. And I did this in basically 30 hours, I would guess, and 66 years of living and wanting to do this. Imagine a world. Imagine a world where a grandfather meets with the grandson and he solves not only the Alzheimer's that clouds his brain, but the hope and the dream that 7 generations past his death, they will remember him for what he added to the world. as all starlight is an additive process, not an extraction. And it turns into a video game. It turns into inspiration. It turns into classes and learning how to use Sanskrit and decode how to, it could be a board game and a coffee mug and a book. And I imagine all of these things right now. I want it to be a PlayStation game that poor kids can play for free. That's an educational platform that opens up. Let's learn about the world and how we can affect it for the positive. And maybe it is, you know, in every dark area of the world, surrounded is a marketplace of, in these locations of ancient history, it becomes a historical visitation, a rite of passage to go to the place where holiness started, to the garden that we plant. Imagine how beautiful that would be to see these animals eating the plastic. Imagine having the experience of this and what it would do for patients of Alzheimer's. Imagine what it would look like on your phone as a music background. Imagine, as Rick McCawley did. And I do have the latest version of that done with my pictures in it, which I also vibe coded into existence. And so that's what it is. I pass the book on to you, the book of knowledge, the book of love. And that's what you saw. So what it created is from these still images, which it also created by me just saying I wanted it. So yeah, that's a lot I know. Okay, let's check in. Let's see where we are.